How we going, folks? Welcome back to the Nightmare Cabin and happy Halloween. And I'm doing a movie review tonight. So I did a reaction, not reaction, my initial thoughts thing on the trailer for the new 2024 Salem's Lot a few weeks back, and it got a pretty good reaction. So I thought I might as well follow it up and do a review. I saw the film today in the cinema. My eldest boy is getting into his horror films now, and there's a few old horror films that are on tonight that are showing. They're doing Nightmare on Elm Street. I think they're doing Carrie. There was something else we had like a look of as well, but everyone's out doing something at a Halloween party tonight. So, Salem's Lot 2024 was showing about 11:30 today. So it was like, yeah, we could fit that one in. And it was only rated 15 as well. So this week, both me and my son have watched both of the versions of Salem's Lot, and we watched a new one today. So we've done all three this week. So I've got all three fresh in my mind, so I can just give my initial thoughts on the film. We've not long been back from the cinema, and yeah, you know what? I've got to eat humble pie. I've got to eat my words. I mean, it was actually really good. I'm the first to admit. I'll hold my hands up. I think I did say I'd be pleasantly surprised, but no, I was pleasantly surprised. It weren't bad. Weren't perfect, but we can get into that. So, what should we start with? What was good about it? Right, what was good about it was I liked the sleepy town atmosphere, which I thought the 2004 version did quite well. Stephen King does write the small town very well. A lot of his books are very thick, and he does give a lot of background to the character. Is it called Different? Oh, it doesn't matter anyway. But there's a really good book where it's basically a demon takes over an antique shop, bit like in Salem's Lot. That's why I'm bringing it up. And you go into the shop, and whatever you're desiring, it's there. So like a guy that collects baseball cards goes in, and this really rare baseball card is there, and he's like, how much do you want for this? And he's like, whatever you want. What have you got in your pocket? And I've got about a couple of dollars here. That's fine, it's yours. And he's bought your soul, sort of thing. Oh, what's that one called? But that one was really good. You really do get, you feel, you can smell the coffee in the diner, and that's what this it sums this up quite well. They kind of messed up one scene. I thought there was a couple of missed opportunities, but there were some classic scenes that they reenacted, which I think did quite well. The film's been out long enough now. I'm just gonna give spoilers, so I'll give a little warning so you can skip a couple of seconds if you like. But so the boy at the window looked pretty good. I think it would have been better if he did the scratching again, though. That was always so eerie about the original. There were some genuinely suspenseful moments. The scene in the drive-in, when they're chasing the sun, shall we say? Try not to give too much away. That was really good. There was actually there was a bit of suspense there. Drive-ins aren't really a thing here in the UK, are they? Is everyone? I think it's because we've got such crap weather. It's just never, the weather's never reliable, so we don't have them. But I don't. So you get in, you drive, and then you just watch a film in your car. I've only ever seen them in other films. And I rewatched The Outsiders recently, and they have one as well. So, but I'm meandering, and but that scene was really good. A couple of scenes as well. A couple of characters are cut out. A couple of things are sort of breezed over, which they don't go into as much depth in the old ones. But I guess that's all right. If anything, do you know what? If anything, like these are 3 hours each. I mean, this is 2 parts. It's pretty much 3 hours all in all. And then, yeah, this is just under 3 hours. And I did see reviews where they said it all kind of speed. It all goes a bit too quick, and it should have been stretched out to be a mini series or a series, especially with it being on a streaming service. But you know what? I think it actually, we didn't miss that much. you didn't really need to know that much about affairs, and you know, you could go, oh, but the whole thing is the town is sinning, and they've kind of brought something like Barlow on themselves. It's like, yeah, maybe, but they never really explored it that much in the originals anyway. Maybe a bit more in the book. Yeah, I think keeping it just within a 2-hour runtime actually benefited it. Although, I'm going to completely contradict myself. It is a little bit rushed towards the end. So maybe the ending could have had a bit more build up. It was probably, yeah. I like the fact that it was shorter, but it could have been a bit more build up in the final. It is a little bit cut off. Let's talk about the vampire. So in the original, you see him there, and he's modelled like Nosferatu, and he doesn't talk. In this one, he's played by Rutger Hauer, and he looks like a human and does talk, and seduces the victim, so to speak, gets them to accept him in a way. In this new one, the vampire does talk, but not a lot. And I'm thinking they could have combined the two a little bit. And the reason I liked 2004 is because it is a bit more like the book. It's not perfect. It's not a perfect adaptation at all. And truth be told, this hasn't aged well. I rewatched this week. And yeah, the effects are pretty abysmal, to be honest, although it is a TV film. Yeah, it's not aged very well at all. I've said in my first video that I really liked this, and yeah, it's not as good as I remember it. But I did appreciate that it was a different take. It was a different adaptation on the book rather than a remake of the film. This new 2024 is trying to be a remake of this, and it's still set in the 70s, by the way. So the aesthetics and everything looks good. I think Father Callahan kind of right, spoilers. Right. You've been warned. Right. Father Callahan, I like Father Callahan because Father Callahan comes back in the Dark Tower series, and what was intended to be a Salem's Lot sequel kind of got covered in the Dark Tower series. And none of the three, imagine the third one here, none of them really portray Father Callahan very well. It's just basically a side character in this, isn't much of a hero. And in this, he's a traitor and a villain. This new version, you know, they could have left it a bit open. And maybe they could have, you know, left it open that they could connect the film to a Dark Tower series if there's ever, you know, I know they did that film a few years back with Idris Elba, but it kind of flopped, and I never saw it, but I never heard anyone praising it. But they kind of just wrote him off as a, I mean, he was all right. He was a priest with a drinking problem. We all knew that, and his faith sort of faltered. I mean, there was a slight faith aspect in the film where if someone had a cross and a vampire was nearby, the cross lit up, and this cross is like kryptonite to him. Like, you hold this cross up to the vampire, it throws them across the room, and if it touches them, it kills them. Although, no, that's not quite true. It does in the original. And this just scars them. I was thinking of a vampire that got killed, but it wasn't the cross that did it. Was it? Yeah, one vampire puts it on his face, and it just gives him a scar. Another vampire, they hold it on her back, and she just evaporates. So, anyway, the cross lights up. Like, it has power. So when the priest is holding the cross up, and it's shining, it dies, and then he goes, oh, your faith's gone. It's like, well, and they do it in this one as well. Like, he's face to face with the vampire, and he goes, "Tell me, have I been a fool? Like, is there a god after all?" And it's like, you're looking at a demon, mate. What more confirmation did you need? So, I don't know why Father Callahan's faith would have faltered at that point when he's literally staring into hell. But maybe it's faith in himself. He could, yeah, whatever. But I would like Father Callahan to be portrayed in a Salem's Lot with what the hero he would come to be, or the anti-hero he would become to be in the Dark Tower. I would like to have seen that hinted at a little bit. I think, Barlow does look a bit generic. He looks a lot more like he does in the Salem's Lot. Maybe they could have played him, made him look a bit more human to begin with, and then made him look more like the original as he vamps out as the film goes on. Maybe. But it's all, could have done this, could have done that. But neither of these are perfect, truth be told. No, perfect adaptations, at least. I think the original 1973, is a classic horror film. Obviously, you know, directed by Tobe Hooper, and it's got its place, but it's not perfect adaptation. I mean, this is just as liberal, really, with the source material, shall we say, but it is truer than the original. That's why I liked it. But like I say, it hasn't aged well. But yeah, like I say, this new 2024 adaptation is a hell of a lot better. It needed work. It could have been maybe slightly edited better. It could have been this, could have been that. But it certainly wasn't as bad as I was anticipating, and it's certainly not as bad as some of the other crap that's going about at the moment. So yeah, I enjoyed it. So I'll tell you what else before I go. Watching all three adaptations back to back in the week has certainly lit the fire, and I'm going to be rereading this soon. So I'm long overdue this. I bought this edition years ago and never got round to it. This is a, I think it's got the two mini stories included, but also a load of chapters that were cut from the original book have been added to this. And I bought it, ages ago and never got round to it. And watching these back to back, I'm definitely going to read this soon. So there you go. Thanks for watching this. We've got to the end. And yeah, movie reviews. Do you want more of them? Let me know in the comments. And I'll see you all soon. Thanks a lot.